Welcome to the webinar where we're going to talk about the vendor onboarding process in NetSuite. Here we're going to see how easy and secure it is to send your vendor a self-registration form from within NetSuite, which in turn will create the vendor profile automatically in NetSuite along with all the banking information that is necessary for the AP team to send payments out. It also goes through an approval routing so that the processes are within your controls. This really cuts down the time that the AP team has to do back and forth with the vendor to get all the information and within the system. We will also talk about the vendor management dashboard and show you where all the information is easily visible from one glance. Any duplicate detection, such as if you are sending a new registration form to a vendor, the system will automatically detect whether this vendor is already present in the system and make you aware of that record so you can view that and then decide whether you still want to move forward with this registration. That being said, we are going to now jump into the demo. So I'm going to log into NetSuite and show you this process live. Here we are in the NetSuite system, and as you can see, I have vendor management right here, the tab, and clicking on the vendor management tab takes me into the dashboard for the vendor management, where I have not only vendor related information but also contract information, which will come in a later series of this webinar. I will now go and try to send a new registration form to a vendor, and from my shortcuts I'm going to click on invite new vendor. The name of the company, let's say it's Acme Inc. And I can put in some limited information. None of this is necessary other than the name of the company, and we definitely want to put an email address in there. So here we can put in some other information. I need to send this to the vendor, and I'm going to put in the vendor's email. As you can see that it automatically detected that there is more than one vendor that has this email. Now this is my test system, so I have many records in there, but it'll look at an email address or the domain of the company and detect whether this is a duplicate record. So it has detected it. I can click on one of these records and go right to that record and decide whether this is really a duplicate. If it is not a duplicate, I will resolve that and tell the system, no, it's not a duplicate. And for this demo, I'm going to decide that this is not a duplicate record, and we still want to move forward with this sending out this registration to the vendor. So I'm going to put in the email, the phone number as well, put in whatever information I want to put in here. I'll pick a category that, this is a consulting company, and I can put in some comments here. And it also supports whether it's a company or an individual. You can decide whether it's a 1099 consultant or a consulting company or a CMO or CRO, whatever the case may be. I'm going to hit save here. And when I hit save here, it will send an email to the vendor. It will also take me to a list of all the vendors that I have sent a registration request to, and what the status is, whether the form is completed, whether it's in pending AP. So from here, I am going to jump into my email and so here I'm in the email, and assuming this is the vendor's email, they have received the registration email. We'll click on it, and in the email they will find a button to be directed to the vendor portal. They have been given a password that they need to use. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this password, click on the register here button. I'm going to put in my email address, .com, and I'm going to go ahead and put in my password and log in. I don't want to remember this. So once it logs in, as you can see, it brings forth the information that I had previously already put into the record within NetSuite. So there is less work for the vendor to do. Vendor will now look at it, make any corrections as needed. If there's a different name, they can put that here. If there are documents such as the 1099 forms or W-9s can be attached here. In addition, you can specify and customize the look and feel of this form to meet the branding of your company, and add additional fields and make certain fields required. Also ask for certain documents to be attached. Without the necessary fields or the correct documents attached, you can limit whether the form will move forward in the process or not. So this enables you to make sure that you're not receiving half information, because the vendor will not be able to submit information until it is complete. I'm going to go ahead and put in some more information here. 450 Market Street. Actually, I'm going to put this information here, and I say I want you to send all the information to our accounting team, and my city is Philadelphia, PA, zip code, and United States. And I will continue on to the next, where I can pick select my banking information and give them bank information. Taking a shortcut here, it's Bank of America, and from here either I can say send me a check or send me pay me via ACH. When I pick the ACH, it'll automatically bring up the fields I need to fill in. So bank account information, I'm going to put in a bogus information here. This is a checking account, and country check USA. Bank code is 0310211. That's the routing information. If there is any processor code, we may need that, but in this case we don't. So I'm going to, that is a necessary field. As you can see, we can make fields required and dynamic based on your specific use case. I'm going to put in a number here. All right. Finally, we have a final page where the vendor would be able to verify that all the information they've entered is correct. And in addition, we want them to certify that this information is correct, without which they are not able to submit this. So I'm going to click the checkbox, at which point the button becomes available. Now, in addition, you can put in any other legal language here that you may need, or your legal department might need. From here, I'm going to hit finish. And when I hit finish, it will, in the back end, process this application and talk to NetSuite and generate the vendor registration form within NetSuite. So from here, I'm going to go back to NetSuite and go to my vendor management record. From here, I can look at my vendors pending my approval, and I see that Acme is a new one that just got created. View this new vendor record to ensure that it was created correctly, and I can see all the necessary information is here. It continues to remind me that there might be duplicates for me to review, which I'll come back to later. And it also says that the registration form is completed by the vendor, and that it is now pending AP review. So the record is not approved yet. It is still in review to be approved. From here, it will be routed for approval, which we will not be going into greater detail for this webinar. I will also come down here, see that any other information is entered correctly. We'll go and look at the bank payment detail. The form did ask for the banking information. So if I click on edit, I do see a new banking record being created. And from here, it has correctly captured that it is an ACH form of payment method, and the bank number and all the other information that was entered along with the type of bank account. With that, I'm going to go back into my primary vendor record. And before I conclude, I'm just going to click on the duplicates and show you how duplicate detection would work here. So here it gives me a list of all the duplicates that it has found based on the email or the domain of the company. And from here, I can pick which one is the master account. And if I want to merge all these into this one master account, I can mark the others as duplicate. It will mark them and merge them into the actual master account. And we can then have a single vendor record instead of having multiples. I'm not going to do that. With this, it concludes our vendor onboarding and vendor management process. Thank you.